Hello everyone, I am from Arihan College of Education. My name is Trishna Parmar. Today's subject is Science, Standard 7. Before we begin with our today's topic, we will revise what you learned earlier. So let us begin. What is nutrition? The process of taking in and using food which takes place in living organisms is called nutrition. And why do we need nutrition? Because it supplies us energy, helps in the growth and development. It also replaces the cells and repair our tissues whenever we get hurt. So children, do you know how do plants make their own food? I hope you all remember with the process of photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis requires light from sunlight, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, and water and some minerals so that it can carry out the process of photosynthesis. This process supplies food to the plants and it helps to the growth. So let us see our next topic. What is autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition? Autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs make their own food, heterotrophs cannot make their own food, but it obtains its food from the outside sources. So children, tell me the examples of autotrophs. I know you all must be thinking one thing, that is plants. Very good. Plants make their own food. And heterotrophs, they cannot make their own food. So what is an example? Animals. Very good children. So animals, fungi, some bacteria. In autotrophs also there are some bacteria who make their own food, who does not depend on anyone. So let us see the importance of nitric acid. Nitric acid, HNO3. Nitrogen dioxide dissolves in rainwater and is converted into nitric acid, HNO3. This HNO3 is added to the soil and then over there it reacts with different minerals and that is converted into salts. This salt is called as a nitrogen salt. This nitrogen salt helps in the growth and development of plants. So children, as you have studied how plants make their own food, about the biological process of nitrogen dioxide. So today we are going to learn more about plants and animals nutrition. So our today's topic is types of nutrition in plants and animals. The first type is heterotrophic plants. What are heterotrophic plants? These plants depend on others for their food and survival, and they do not contain chlorophyll. So the plants that grow on the body of other plants to obtain food are also called as parasitic plants. Now you can see that there are two examples, Loranthus and Cuscuta. In Cuscuta, chlorophyll is absent and that is the reason it is completely dependent on the host plant. As with Loranthus plant, it is a partially parasitic plant because it has green leaves and it can carry out the process of photosynthesis. But it requires the host plant to supply some minerals to process the photosynthesis. So children, below are the two images of Loranthus plant on your left and Cuscuta plant on your right. So the Loranthus plant is in green color, which can do the process of photosynthesis, but it also requires the host plant. So it is a partially parasite plant. On the other hand, the Cuscuta plant does not have any green leaves and it is completely a purplish color plant. So it cannot process the photosynthesis and due to that it depends completely on other plants for food. So this is a parasite plant. So let us move to a next type of plant, insectivorous. The definition itself explains this plant. Insectivorous plants are the plants that derive their nutrition by feeding on insects and other organisms. So these plants eat insects which come close to them, and that's how they get their nutrition or their food. Now these plants are found in the places where some nutrients lack, especially the nitrogen. As I said, the nitrogen is required for the growth of the plants. So you can imagine how important the nitrogen salts are. Now these plants entrap insects and digest them to suffice their nitrogen requirement. So these plants, they attract the insects to them, and from the insects they derive nitrogen, and that's how the nitrogen requirement is sufficed. I want you all to observe the below image. This plant is identified in Sri Lanka in 1737 by scientists named as Jonas Bruni. This plant appears to be like flower, and it has attractive pink or red color leaves. And if you observe this, it has a hair-like margins all around it. This plant was named after scientist Jonas Bruni, and the name was given as Drosera brumani. It's very beautiful, so the insects come near it. So that's how this plant attracts insects, so to suffice their nitrogen requirement and to get the nutrition. I hope you all are understanding. Let us move to our next type, which is saprophytic plants. Saprophytes are organisms that feed on dead and decaying organisms. They are considered extremely important in soil biology. Why? Because they break down the complex organic matter into simpler substances that are taken up by the plants for various metabolic activities. So, as you can see, that saprophytes are very important. The fungi grow tabular structures known as hyphae that branch into the dead matter and produce digestive enzymes. So if you see any mushrooms, they have this thread like which is going inside the dead or decaying organisms, and from there they branch into that dead and decaying matter so that they can produce some digestive enzymes for themselves. Examples like mushroom and yeast. Please see the image below. It can give you a look how these mushrooms are, and the hyphae you cannot see it. It goes inside the branch of that plant or tree. Now remember, when food gets spoiled due to some fungi, they cause disease and illness. So for example, fungal growth on a lemon. You can see in this image, there is a fungal growth that is a white color and greenish color growth on this lemon. Please be aware, in your house also this fungal growth is very common. You can see this fungal growth on breads. If you keep stale food for long in the fridge also, there will be some white mushy like growth on the food item. That is called a fungal growth, and it is very dangerous because it can cause diseases and illness. So whenever you see any fungal growth, immediately throw away those substances. But there are few fungi which are very important. So yeast is one of them because it helps in the process of fermentation, and also yeast helps us baking the bread. Mushrooms are rich source of iron and vitamins. That does not mean, children, that you go around in the forest or you go around your vicinity and take the mushrooms and eat them. Okay? There are some mushrooms which are very poisonous, some mushrooms which are rich in iron and vitamins which we should consume. Please see the below image. The first image shows the yeast which is used for fermentation, and the second image is the mushrooms. You can see these mushrooms in the supermarkets also, and they are healthy to eat. So now what is the roles and effects of the nutrients on plants. So effects means deficiency. If they do not have those nutrients, then what will happen to the plant? So nitrogen. So we already know that nitrogen helps in the growth. So the function is it the important component of proteins, chlorophyll and cytoplasm. The effects are it gives deficiency and sustained growth and yellowing of leaves. So whenever there is yellowing of leaves, there can be deficiency of nitrogen in the soil. The second is phosphorus. Conversion of light into chemical energy. So this is very important because plants make their own food. They convert the light energy into chemical energy. And if it is not there, then what are the effects? There is early leaf falling, late flowering, so slow growth of roots. The third is potassium, necessary for metabolic activities. Correct? Now, if these are not there, if potassium is not there, what will happen? The stem will be weak, the whittling leaves, failure of produce carbohydrates. Now, these are very important. If they are not there, the plant will start dying. So, potassium is very important. Now, magnesium, production of chlorophyll. We all know how much chlorophyll is important for green plants because it helps them to produce or to process the photosynthesis. If it is not there, then there is a slow and retarded growth and yellowing of leaves. So if chlorophyll is not there, the leaves will eventually start turning to yellow and there will be no growth. Iron. It is also the production of chlorophyll. If it is not there, there is yellowing of leaves. Manganese. Production of main plant hormones. So if this manganese is not there, then there is a retarded growth and there is some spotting. It's not yellowing, but you will see that the leaves are spotting. There is spots on the leaves. And zinc. Zinc is used for the production of hormones and their intermediates. So if it is not there, then this same will happen. Then there will be retarded growth and yellowing of leaves. So eventually, in plants, whenever there is any deficiency, there is stunt growth or retarded growth, early leaf flowering, early leaf fall or late flowering, weak stem, yellowing of leaves. So remember children, if you see plants with all these deficiencies, there are some nutrients which are not provided to the plants. So we have studied what are the nutrition in plants. Now we will study the nutrition in animals. So like humans, livestock animals need a balanced diet containing all the necessary nutrients, fluids, minerals and vitamins. Correct? Proper nutrition gives animals the vigor to grow, develop and produce and strong immunity to fight off infections. So if animals also have a proper nutrition, they will grow healthy and then they will develop fast and then they will reproduce also. And they can have a strong immunity to fight against any infections. Hence, nutrition is very important in animals too. With this children, I would like to add one small point. Children, you all should be very sensitive. So as I just discussed about the nutrition in plants and their deficiencies. So children, plants are sensitive towards a lot of things around them. If they are not provided, they become dull, they start withering, and then they slowly start dying. So children, be sensitive towards others. Have the value of sensitivity inside you. See if anybody is in trouble. Go ask them if they need any help or if they require any assistance. So children, always be sensitive towards others' feelings. That will always make you a better person and a human. So with this, let us begin the nutrition in animals. The 5 steps which occur in the process of nutrition of animals are ingestion, the food is taken in. Digestion, the food is converted into simple soluble forms. Absorption, now this simple soluble form is transferred to the blood. Assimilation, the utilization of the absorbed food by the cells and the tissues for the production of energy, growth and repair of the body. And the last is ejection. Ejection is removal of the waste food or undigested food from the body. So these are the 5 steps of process of nutrition in animals. Now there are 3 types of nutrition in animals. The first is holozoic, second is saprozoic, and third is parasitic nutrition. Now in holozoic nutrition, animals are classified according to their food types. So the first is herbivores, second is carnivores, third is omnivores, fourth is scavengers, and the fifth is decomposers. So let us see these types of nutrition of animals one by one. Holozoic nutrition. What is holozoic nutrition? The process by which animals take in their food is called holozoic nutrition. Now this involves the 5 steps which we just saw, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and ejection. So children, human also exhibits the process of holozoic nutrition, which involves 5 basic steps. So in amoeba, which is a unicellular animal, also involves the 5 basic steps of nutrition. So the first is when it sees the food, it goes with the help of pseudopodia. The food is injected, that is the ingestion takes place. Then once the ingestion is taken place, the digestion process starts. After the digestion, the food is absorbed. So whatever the food is converted into the soluble forms, it is transferred to the blood. And in assimilation, now this food is used for the production of energy, for the growth and for the repair. And the last is ejection. So whatever is the remaining food or undigested food, it is removed from the body. So the amoeba, being a unicellular animal, also displays the 5 basic steps of nutrition. So as we said that the basic nutrition, the 5 basic steps of nutrition is ingestion. So the ingestion takes place with the help of mouth. So the insects also have mouth parts for ingestion of food. For example, let us see the first one. Cockroaches and grasshopper have a jaw-like mouth parts to inject the food. Butterflies suck food with the tube-like proboscis. Mosquitoes and bedbugs use a needle-like mouth part. So the first part is to pierce inside the skin. The needle is pierced inside the skin. And the second tube, like mouth, suck the blood. So the mosquitoes and bedbugs have like a mouth part, a needle-like mouth part, which goes and pierces into our skin. And then the second is to suck the blood from the body. So that's how the mosquitoes and bedbugs eat their food or inject their food. Now, as I said, in holozoic nutrition, animals are classified according to their food type. So let us check one by one. Herbivores. So herbivore animals that only eat plants. They do not eat anything else, they only survive on plants, such as fruits, flowers, nuts, grass, or even wood. So there are some examples given below, which is horse, rabbit, cow, a reindeer. These all are herbivores. Now carnivores. I hope you all know lions and tigers. They are carnivores. So animals that depend on other animals for their food are carnivores. So carnivorous animals are indirectly dependent on plant food because these carnivores eat animals which eat plant food. Okay, so they depend on them. The third is omnivores. We humans are omnivores. Why? Because we even get our energy from animals and also some part of plants like fruits and vegetables. So humans are omnivore because they also get their energy from meat and vegetables and fruits. So some examples are humans. Most of the bears are omnivores, raccoons. Most of the primates like apes and monkeys are also omnivores because they also depend on animal food also and plant food also. Seagulls and other birds. So they are also both omnivores. They eat animals also and they eat plants also. The fourth is scavengers. Now scavengers, the name itself says that these scavengers eat on or feed on dead animals. Okay, so whatever is dead, they will go and eat that. So vultures and hyena, they depend upon dead animals. So these are scavenger animals. The fourth is decomposers. So earthworm, fungi, bacteria. We all know these are decomposers. So these decomposers feed on the remains of other animals. So whatever is remaining after the scavengers eat up, whatever is remaining, they decompose that. Or whatever is dead, they decompose that. And then they feed on it and grow. So these decomposers play a very important role in our ecosystem. By digesting the dead matter, they put back the nutrients in the soil. And these nutrients help the soil, the plants, and we make them available for the producers, like plants and the soil, and for everything. So decomposers are a very important part of our ecosystem. Now let us see the second type of nutrition, that is saprozoic nutrition. Some unicellular animals obtain the nutrients by absorbing the liquid organic material from the dead bodies of other animals or from the environment. This is saprozoic nutrition. Let me show you some pictures which can clear this definition of saprozoic nutrition for you. Flies, spiders, and ants. They do not eat the they do not eat an actual food or solid food. They suck the liquid out of it. Okay, whatever is there, they suck the liquid or liquid organic material from the dead bodies or other animals. Like if you see a ant, when it bits, it sucks the organic material from our body. The flies also, they suck the organic material from our body. So this is how they eat or they take nutrition. So these are called as saprozoic nutrition. Now let us see parasitic nutrition. Animals obtain food only from other animals on whom they are dependent. So now with this definition, let us see there are two types of nutrition in parasitic nutrition. So some animals live on the surface body of their host to obtain food by sucking their blood. This is called as ectoparasitic nutrition. Example is budbug and tick. The second is the animals which live inside the body of other animals and obtain their food. For example, tapeworm and roundworm. This type of nutrition is called endoparasitic nutrition, and these animals are also known as endoparasites. So you have seen this pink color image before. So this is an endoparasitic nutrition. Why? If you see the dark colored worm like, so these are inside the body of other animals. So this is a microscopic view to show you that these can be tapeworm or roundworms. So they live inside the body of other animals to obtain their food. On the other hand, if you see on the right hand side, there is a bedbug. So it is an ectoparasite. It lives on the surface of body of their host, so they can suck their blood for the food. So in parasitic nutrition, there are two types: endoparasitic nutrition and ectoparasitic nutrition. So student, why what are the ectoparasitic nutrition and what are the endoparasitic nutrition? Correct. Ectoparasitic, they live on the surface body of their host to obtain food. Endoparasitic nutrition, they live inside the body of other animals and obtain their food. Okay, examples are tapeworm and roundworm. So there are three types of animal nutrition. First is holozoic nutrition, second is saprozoic nutrition, and the third is parasitic nutrition. So we are done for today. So children, as these nutritions, they are aware, like these animals are aware what they want to eat and on what they should survive on. In the same way, children, you should also be self-aware. You should also be self-aware about yourself, what you like, what you dislike, how are you going to portray yourself, what is important for you. Be self-aware, children. It will develop your ability to achieve anything in this world. Okay, so for today we are done, and today we studied about the types of nutrition in plants and animals. Okay children, so let us do a little recap. What are heterotrophic plants? The plants that are dependent on other plants are called as heterotrophic plants. Correct? They are also called as parasitic plants because they survive on other plants for food and nutrition. The second is Drosera brumani plant is named after which scientist? I hope you all remember this, okay? So Drosera brumani plant is named after the scientist called Jones Bruman. So after him, the name was given to the plant as Drosera brumani because he discovered the plant. The third question is, what is the function of zinc nutrients in plants? You should think hard. Correct. The production of hormones and their intermediates. That is the function of zinc nutrient in plants. The last is, what are the three types of nutrition in animals? We have just done it. The three types of nutrition is holozoic nutrition, saprozoic nutrition, and parasitic nutrition. So these are the three types of nutrition. You need to remember this. Now application part. Now children, this is a Google form for you. This Google link is also given in the description. Please click on it. Fill in the Google form which is based on the nutrition in living organisms on today's topic, types of nutrition in plants and animals. Please answer the question, submit it. Okay? And your homework. Open your exercise book, that is your textbook. Go to question number 1. Classify according to food type. Now there are multiple animals: tiger, cow, vulture, bacteria, deer, goat, human, fungus, lion, sparrow, buffalo, frog, cockroach, tick. You need to classify these animals according to their food type. Okay? The second is the match the following. It's very simple and you all will do it correctly, I know that. The question number 5. Prepare and complete the flowchart. It's very simple children, you just have to complete the flowchart. It is like nutrition of plants and animals. Autotrophic, I know you know the other two also, and in animals, parasitic nutrition is given, and we have just done the type of nutrition in animals. Okay, so it is holozoic and saprozoic. And the last part also, insectivorous and the parasitic, ectoparasitic, and you know the second part also. So the sixth question is think and answer. What damage or harm do ectoparasitic and endoparasitic animals cause? Please think and answer this question. Write down in your homework. Okay? Write down in your textbook. So thank you children so much. It's been wonderful giving this lesson. Thank you. Have a great day.